Hey everyone, welcome back to the IMPACT32 podcast. We are so excited that you're joining with us today. As you may have known from the other podcast episodes that you've been listening to, we are a ministry of over 100 different partnerships, a network really. And so we're excited to have people on to share just what God is doing in the ministry. And today I'm so excited to have a dear friend and colleague with me here on the podcast. Her name is Jennifer Rost, and she is just the manager of the Superbook Farsi program. And so what they do is they take the Superbook episodes and they translate them into Farsi so that they can be listened to by Farsi speaking children. And so I'm so excited to have Jennifer today to talk a little bit about that. Jennifer, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me, and I say hi to all the audience. And I'm so excited. Anytime that I can talk about Superbook, it's exciting because I have two kids.
Yes.
I spend so much time on them, but after that, Superbook is what I spend most of my time on. So
Yes.
it's exciting for me if I can talk about Superbook anytime, any day.
Yes, I love that. I know. I actually remember watching Superbook when I was younger, and now I have nieces and nephews that love watching Superbook, and
Yes,
it's such like a fun way for
it
kids
is.
to learn about
It
Jesus and learn
really
about the
is. Yes.
Bible. And so now like learning that our ministry has this ability to translate it into other languages and to broadcast them to children who have never heard, and so they get to hear in such a unique way. I think that's like incredible. So
It is. It
so thank you
really
for
is.
what you do.
Sure.
Seriously. Yeah. So can you give me like a little bit of insight into your involvement with the Superbook program and that unique role that you play in the
Sure.
production? Mhm.
As you said, I managed the entire Farsi Superbook from dubbing the Superbook episode, translating and dubbing it, Superbook Academy videos, and all the package that comes with the each lesson, the craft, the coloring sheet, or everything, all the prints they need to be translated. And also producing virtual Superbook Sunday School programs using Superbook Academy videos, which that's very exciting, and we see the most of response from through that from Iran. I
Right.
also manage a Superbook social media. Basically, I manage any project that starts with Superbooks or ends with Superbook, and I
Right.
love it.
Yeah, that's so cool. I feel like it's not only translating the episodes to people listening, but also we have the virtual Sunday school, which
Correct.
is different than just the program people watching. It's like people can actually be engaged with Superbook and the
Correct.
children. Can you actually tell me a little bit about that real quick of how they get connected with the virtual Sunday school?
Yes. Superbook, the Sunday school has two parts. One part is pre-production, is 30 minutes pre-recorded that it's being broadcast on the channel using Superbook episode, dividing them in three areas. Chris and Joy's dilemma, and then Bible story, and then Chris and Joy's decision
Okay,
based on
yeah.
the Bible. And then we have academy videos, Bible background that are very helpful in
Mm,
understanding the history of the Bible story, and signpost videos that how
mm,
this, for example, the Daniel story relates to Jesus and how it
yeah.
relates to our life today. So
Mm.
after broadcasting that 30 minutes from Mohabbat TV, we go live for 30 minutes on social media, uh,
Wow.
on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Telegram. And
Yeah.
to worship, we talk about the topic of the
Wow.
program, that day's program, and then do the craft related or doing coloring sheet. And we have
Yes.
a lot of response through that. And it's very exciting.
That is so exciting. I feel like that's so interactive and so intentional to be able to like connect with people who are watching. It's not just you're broadcasting and hoping someone hears and hoping someone gets the message. It's like you're actually able to communicate with them and stay
Correct.
connected with them.
Right.
I love that. That's
Really, and
incredible.
I growing
Yeah.
up, I was 4 years old that my mom started sending me to Sunday school. So
Yeah.
when we would go, I got really interested in Bible,
Yes.
knowing Jesus. And my sister and I would come home and talk about Jesus to my mom, not
Yes.
knowing that we're witnessing to her,
Oh my goodness.
So
Yeah.
she got excited from our excitement, and she
Yes.
started going to a church and reading Bible. And this is how salvation comes to our home. And I know that even though this is a kids program,
Wow.
I
Yeah.
know it has a huge impact even on adults.
That is so incredible. That it just shows like the power of ministering to
Yes,
children. It's not just for them, but when children receive the gospel, they're so excited
yes,
and they're ready to share it with
yeah,
whoever. And there's so much like
correct.
purity and innocence in that. And I love that. And I think that's
Yeah.
just why it's such a priority for our ministry to not only reach families and women and men, but also the
Oh,
children. So
yes. They are the
I love
future
that.
of any
Yes,
country or
absolutely.
the believes. Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. Well, I love that. Thank you for sharing that.
Sure.
Can you tell us a little bit about just the process of what it takes to translate these Superbook episodes from Farsi and even just the steps taken to broadcast it?
Yeah. Well, I thought
Mm.
this program is only 20 minutes because I can talk 2 hours
Yeah.
about this one question.
Right. I know.
Yes. Each step is really has different process. I'll
Mhm.
try to say it very
Sure.
quick and simple, so do not confuse and give
Right.
audience headache. But for episode, we try to outsource that. We have a great contractor. They are all believers, and
Mm.
they translate the script. We review them, and they dub it, and they give us the audio, and then we internally merge that, finalize it, mix and master it with
Wow.
video, and then they are ready to go.
Mhm.
With Academy videos, the process is a little bit different, but
Sure.
still part of it because we need the same voice. We Part of it is being outsourced, part of it is being done by our own team. And as I said, that it's in between all these projects, maybe Superbook Academy is more time consuming because there's a lot of details in it
Right. A lot of
that
details. Yeah.
happen. Yes.
Hmm.
And then Superbook Sunday School, it's being done basically in Turkey.
Mm.
Our main host is in Turkey, and I want to say this, maybe that will be interesting to the audience. The
Yeah.
host herself came to Christ through Mohabbat TV,
Wow.
and now she's hosting one of the
Oh my goodness.
programs.
I
Yes,
love that.
it is interesting. And so our contractors work there, and then but still part of it is being done in the United States by our own team.
Wow.
And yeah, and as I said, the last is social media, that we have a small but mighty team that takes
Right.
care of it and produce segments or content for our social media. Yeah.
I love that. It's like it's such a global effort from people across the world
It
that
is.
are
And
joining
that's our
together.
goal always, to
Right.
involve, to bring the family, to
Yes.
make it as you said, a global, not just a
Yes.
small in one corner of
Right. Exactly. Yeah. You're like reaching out to people in
right,
different parts of the world to join together to make this happen.
right.
So that's so cool. I love that. Um, Something that I am so curious about, like learning about the culture of Iran and the culture of the families and all of that. I want to know something from you, and you're Iranian yourself, and so you can give some personal insight to this. What do you feel like Iranian children are in need of right now that they are receiving from Superbook when they watch and when they engage? What are they receiving that they're in such desperate need of?
You know what, Gillian? Uh, as a mom that have two kids, and I see what they're watching, and I think it's not only for kids in Iran, but also all the kids around the world.
Right.
In today's world, children, including those in Iran, are bombarded with misleading, false, and sometimes harmful messages from various animations,
Yeah.
games, movies. So it's crucial to counter this with equally engaging content that conveys the truth of gospel to kids. This is where Superbook comes in. steps in. And through characters like Joy and Chris, kids can relate to common challenges that they face at school, with their friends, at home, with families. Each episode presents a story from the Bible showing how decisions can be made and lessons learned. And of course, we must recognize Gizmo's role, our
Right.
robot friend,
We can't
which is
forget about
my,
Gizmo.
yeah, we cannot. That's my favorite character,
Right.
because he brings that fun factor to the show.
Yes.
So I think this is the high quality Superbook cartoon really competes with a lot of other non-Christian content out. So as much as we have to support this and make it available for our kids around the world. And as you
Absolutely.
said, how kids in Iran, uh, kids in the, let's say in the United States, they might have other resources too. But that
Right.
resources to hear about gospel, Jesus, truth of life and death,
Right.
it's very limited for kids in Iran, very limited as an Islamic country. So
Mm.
that's why it's important, if we have this resource, why not make it available for them?
Yes.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, I think that's so important because I think that, like you said, there's not a lot of quality Christian content for children, even in the US. I mean, there's a lot more popping up that we see, and we like it's more than we've had before. But I think in other countries, even the quality of content is just not there, especially quality Christian content that they're
Correct.
actually receiving life and love and joy and peace. And it's not just entertainment, even
Mm,
though it is entertaining, but they're also just receiving life-giving principles
correct.
and lessons and the word of God, really, and stories. That's beautiful. I love that.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah, yeah. Can you tell me a little bit about like, have you gotten some feedback from different children or different families who have experienced Superbook and it has just changed things for them? Do you
Sure.
have any
Sure.
testimonies from that?
Yes, so many testimonies, but I
Mm.
want to say that Superbook is designed for kids age 4 to 12. At this
Wow.
stage, children usually don't have their own social media account, or
Sure.
they
Yeah.
might not be able to just grab the phone, start calling.
Right.
So they are totally relying on their parents for the communication.
Yeah.
And that makes it a little bit more challenging compared to, we have a virtual church for adult too.
Right.
So anytime, at any moment, any adult can grab and contact us. But
Right.
even if a kid, they may feel something in their heart, in their mind, they
Mhm.
may share or not share it with their
Right.
parents. Or if they share it, we don't know if their parents gonna act on it or not. So
Yeah.
that's why we always try to encourage parents as well to contact us and make us
Yeah. Right.
available
Let
for
us
your
know. Yeah.
kid. Exactly.
We're here for you. Yeah.
Exactly. And we
Yeah.
have a lot of encouraging stories from parents
Mm.
that they call us and they say that how much this animated series positively impact their children's
Mm.
behavior, inspiring them to be a better person, to
Yeah.
recognize the true good and evil. And
Yeah.
we also get a lot of messages, parents asking for Bible for their kids, because
Mhm.
their kids, after watching a few episodes, they get excited and captivated by the show and wanting to have their own Bible and wanting to read it. And what's better
Yes.
than that, you know,
Right.
planting the gospel in their heart and their mind from very early age. And we had a girl recently, a 12-year-old Yalda. She
Mhm.
called us during a Superbook, and she said, I want to receive Jesus. And
Mhm.
um, she said, but I'm concerned about my uncle too, because
Mm.
he cannot see, he doesn't see Superbook. He's
Mm.
drug addicted, and I'm afraid that he goes to hell.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
said, look, let's pray for you first. Let's
Wow.
help you first, and then you can pray for your uncle too.
Wow.
And we are right now in the process of ministering her and helping her and walking her through her faith.
Wow.
And this is so heartwarming that kids not only think about themselves, they think about their family members, you know.
Wow.
This
That's
is what I'm
so
saying, that
incredible.
this is not just
Yes.
focusing kids. It can really spread the gospel into the
Yes.
families.
Absolutely. That's so incredible to hear what an impact it's had just on children and even like them receiving it for themselves, but then like, oh, this person needs this and this person needs this because they recognize how much
Right.
it's changing their lives, even at a young age in their young minds. That's
Correct.
incredible. And it just shows the importance of what we do and what you do and in producing this and getting this out and translating and coordinating all of that to happen because I know there's so many moving parts and
Yes.
so it just shows the importance of that and even walking by faith too because you said like a lot of the children you don't hear the feedback
Yes.
from everyone that you're reaching but you trust that it's getting to the right places and it's being heard by the right people that need to hear it and so I feel like that's just trusting the Lord that he is
Correct.
ministering to his people even when you only hear one or two stories back and you just that's encouraging but also just walking by faith by that but
Yes, Gillian, I always say
yeah
one day if I go to him and only 5 kids come to me and say that
yes
I came to Christ
Mm,
through Superbook, I'm like worth all the
absolutely. Oh, I
worth
love
the
that. I
hassle
love
and
it.
everything that we
Yes.
went through, even just 5, even just one,
Right.
it's worth it.
Absolutely. Oh, I love that so much. Well, Jennifer, thank you so much for being on this podcast. One last thing I want to ask you before we go is how can we, as listeners, as people who are just engaged with what the Lord is doing overseas, how can we be praying for this program and for these children?
Yes, as I said, first we have to pray for God's transformation
Yeah.
touch through this program,
Mm,
reaching out to save all children, particularly those in Iran.
mm,
As I said, as some of kids may have some resources outside, but that resource is very limited in Iran. And you can see, you know, Gillian, kids in Iran grow up with uh, apart from salvation, growing up with a lot of health, mental, emotional problems. And I really want to ask the audience to keep kids in Iran in their prayer. And the second one, I want to ask for prayers for financial blessing, but because we
yes.
can go and move forward as much as our budget allows us.
Right.
So it's really crucial to have that fund to keep this program moving forward. So I appreciate any donation.
Yeah.
If somebody want to participate and partner with us in this project, we are open armed,
Yes,
accept.
absolutely.
Yes,
Yeah, well, we will absolutely be keeping you and your team and this whole program in our prayers because we know how important this is.
yes,
And children are so important to the heart of God. And as Jesus said, he said, let the children come to me. He's so
yes,
open and so open armed to
yes,
just not shooing them away or not placing them as second, but it's come. Would you
yes.
come and receive? So Jen, thank you so much for being on this
Sure.
podcast.
Thank you.
It's just been like so incredible. And so I'm so honored to just hear from you and hear what your team is doing. And so thank you so much for joining
Thank you.
us.
Thank you. It's an honor to be an instrument in God's hands, you know, and I'm
Amen.
happy to be
Yes.
here and talk about Superbook anytime you want.
Yes, absolutely. We'll have to have you back and just go
Yes,
all in.
definitely.
That's so great. And for those of you tuning in, we just want to say thank you so much for joining us for this episode. We would love to stay connected with you. So you can find us online at heartforiran.com or on social media at heartforiran. Or if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to email us at info@heartforiran.com. And we would love to stay connected with you. So please stay tuned for what's to come. And thank you for joining us on the Impact 32 podcast.